Evening, guys. Welcome back to another episode. Hope everyone is doing well. Apologies, we are late. A few technical issues. Neil is going to join us shortly as well. He's having a few issues with the camera. So apologies that we are late, even though we're pretty much late all the time anyway. But do apologise. Hope everyone is doing well. Get in your comments. Plenty to discuss. I know me and Josh have done our separate, obviously, videos on TikTok and YouTube, etc. But yeah, we'll go on about the signings in a little bit more detail. Obviously, look at the fixtures. Obviously, pre-season is underway. We'll talk a little bit about that. Some of the fixtures, obviously, the result we've already had so far, and loads of other stuff. The stuff about JCH. We'll get into the goalie situation. Yeah, plenty to discuss. So yeah, hope you do enjoy. Hope you're all good. I know it's been very hot today. Stupid weather. But yeah, hope everyone's well. And before we get going, obviously, I mean, I'll let Josh talk about it in a sec. But first of all, Josh, how are you, mate? How are you? Good?
Yeah, good, my friend. I'm trying out a new mic, so
yeah, got the mic on.
I won't know how I sound until I watch this back.
Yeah.
So
that is pretty good, to be fair. I mean, I'm sure.
But the thing is I don't know if I'm like, if I do this, is that really loud?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, so because I don't want to blow anyone's ears off. But yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I hated last season. I really did. Obviously, from a personal standpoint, last season for us was great. Me and you, our content and everything like that was great. But the actual season itself was awful. But then all of a sudden, you take a month off, and I miss it.
Yeah. It's the same as me, because I've said it in a few videos. Like, if you'd have told me even a couple of days before we started signing players, I'm like, yeah, I'm really enjoying the break, after last year. But yeah, I sort of agree. But even then, like, even for me, like, even doing videos and stuff, like, even then it was sometimes very hard to do them, like, after last season. But yeah, it is what it is.
It was.
Even on here, like, the support, everyone that tunes in, whether you're new, whether you've been watching us for a few years, few months, a week, the support from last season was mad. Like, even though we were pretty much talking about a loss every game, like, the support was crazy. So yeah, big up everyone. But yeah, quickly, I know you've obviously plugged it on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter, but if anyone hasn't seen it, then let us know about the FCAs and how people can.
I didn't expect you to bring that up.
Yeah, man, got to be done.
Okay, so I've put me on the spot here. So a couple of nights ago, I think Monday night, maybe, I got a message from the Football Content Awards on Twitter and said, "Listen, we like your stuff. We would really encourage you to send in an application and send your stuff over." So I had a little think and everything like that. Like, we only support little old Rovers and everything, and I didn't really think much would come of it. So I ummed and ahed, but I did apply. I sent an application, and I plugged it on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and I've had a few votes. I don't know how to check how many votes, but I've had a couple of people message me saying that they have actually voted and stuff. So guys, if you do like the content that I make, and I do try really hard. I mean, every time before we go like live, I'm always editing some stuff upstairs, put my boy to bed. I'm always doing some stuff. Like, I'm trying to think of lots of different things. Charlie and I have lots of stuff planned. So if you do like my stuff, you do like my content, I would be eternally grateful for just one vote, let alone 2 or 3. So maybe we could, I don't know, get Bristol Rovers an award. I can lift a trophy. That would be lovely. But just to go there, I mean, would be amazing. So guys, if you go over to my Twitter or just go on to Football Content Awards, click the link, and you can vote for me. And best, what did I do? Best new content creator and best content creator in the Football League. Yes. Guys, I'd be eternally grateful. I'm not expecting much from it, to be honest. I didn't even think Charlie would bring it up, so I'm on the spot. But yeah, I mean, if there is any love for the content that I make, then please, I would really appreciate that. It would be just be the icing on the cake. So
yeah,
thank you very much. Charlie, why have you done this to me?
Nah, man, mate, I had to plug it. Like, obviously you're one of the best muckers. Obviously, both do content. Both literally talking Rovers non-stop. So, and obviously a lot of people watch you and me watch your content everywhere. So, you know, you're the GOAT on TikTok. Obviously, I've been on YouTube for a while now. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, like I mentioned to you, I was going to do it. To be fair, after I know, obviously, we've done a lot of stuff, me, you, and Neil on here, but next year, obviously, hope ending on a good season, hopefully, then we'll do it next year. So all of us three can hopefully go, and then I think that would be class. If me, you, and Neil were in London or wherever it was held, then that would be Emerald. But yeah, go and vote for Josh. Go over to his Twitter. All the links are on there as well, or just message him on socials. All of his socials are the same as mine. Obviously, his name at Joshua Hemmons, same as mine. And Neil is about to join us as well, actually. I think or no, maybe not. His camera's still having a bit of a mare. But yeah, all of that stuff. But yeah, thanks to everyone tuning in. Yeah, Jerry, Matt, everyone else, Ed Jacobs. Ed Jacobs, any back shots recently?
I'm getting rinsed in the comments.
Obviously, that mad tweet. Even in Riley. Thanks to everyone. It's doing that weird thing on here that I can't look at the comments again. I think it's because we went late on live, so I apologies for that, but I will read them out if I can. But there's loads of you. Shane Dell, apologies if I do miss. And there we go. Neil's camera's working. How's it going, Neil?
How are we going? All right.
Yeah, mate, all good. How are you?
Hello, Nilo.
Can't complain. No one had listened if I did.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, obviously I've already talked to Josh, but how's the summer been in? In general, like how's obviously we talked about the break, but yeah, how's it been in general, and how excited are you for the new season?
I've said it before, mate. I love off season. Like once it's all wrapped up, I can detach from it easily, mate. I did it when I played as well. Just I can switch off from it immediately, and then I don't really get too excited about anything until like the fixtures roll around really quickly. Pre-season is just it serves its purpose, but yeah, I don't read much into any of it, to be honest. But it'll be all right come August. Bit of the minute, I'm just ticking over.
Yeah, it's just ticking over, isn't it? Really, I'm sort of. Well, I talked to Josh a minute ago. Like, I've actually not. Usually, I'm like buzzing. I mean, obviously, when the signings have come out, obviously, that's when it starts. But before that, yeah, like I said, it's been nice to, not really think about it that much, to be honest. But I mean, we'll get into it. Obviously, send us in any questions, any topics. Obviously, we'll try and get us through as much topic and news, etc. We'll start with I think the most obvious one, even though we pretty much knew about it a couple of days ago, maybe last week. But we'll talk about JCH first. Obviously, it was linked a lot. There's been a lot of comments, messages. A lot of us thought he was going to sign, but obviously he's chosen to go to Pendikspor in the Turkish second division in front of 4,000, which is fair enough. I mean, yeah, obviously I had a little dig at his agent, but it is what it is. It probably is his agent. I doubt JCH was thinking, yeah, I want to go and play in the second division in front of, hardly anyone. But it is what it is for me. Obviously, I wanted him. I thought it was going to get done. I was very confident. Me and Josh heard from various people. I was very confident, but obviously that's how it works. Something happens, an agent, etc., bigger wage, which is fair enough. He's got to think about his career. There was a lot of talk, obviously, because his missus was in Bristol, moving closer to him, but he's moved a few thousand miles across to Turkey. Neil, what's your thoughts on that one? Do you think it's one of those where, if you're looking at it, maybe not with obviously Rovers glasses on, do you think it's even maybe the right call that we haven't got him and we need to get someone else? What do you make of the situation?
Well, it's not our call to make at the end of the day. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. You've been outgunned. You've been outgunned by a better offer. And I mean, like I said the other day, like his agent's done everything right. He hasn't done anything wrong. It's not as if his agent's made the decision. His agent works for Jono. He takes a cut off of Jono. So he's done everything right. He secured his client, who's heading into his 30s, a 2-year deal on monster money to secure him for a good couple of years and set him up nicely going into his 30s. It ticks all the boxes that he'd have wanted. Like, whoever he plays in front of is by the by. He's picking up monster money on a 2-year deal heading into his 30s. It's exactly what you want.
Yeah, 100%. What's your actual thoughts on the striker situation? Obviously, at the moment we've got Promise, Sotirio. Obviously, I think Dewsbury will end up going out on loan. I'm sure most of you Rovers or Gas heads would agree. So, do you obviously think we need? I'm sure you do, but do you agree that we need that prolific striker?
Well, whether you need a prolific striker or ultimately this side needs goals. It needs goals. It hasn't got goals in it as it stands. But like every sort of summer, if you're a red hot centre forward or you're a sought after centre forward, you sit on your hands and you let everyone bid amongst you. So you're probably not going to get a centre forward till the top centre forward or the one you want, unless it's a deal that marries up for all parties perfectly.
Yeah,
like the Azza one where it just fell in his lap and went, I can't not do this until sort of like mid to late August anyway. So the season will probably kick off without us being a full quota of what we'd like to think of having goals on our side.
Yeah. It's always hard on it, especially a striker. Yeah, everyone's after him. Everyone needs him. But yeah, I sort of agree. I think it'll be quite late. Obviously, we all want it to get done early. We'd love to see, a striker announced. But yeah, I sort of agree with that. I think if you're really wanting a good one anyway, yes, it's going to be interesting to find out who we do sign. Obviously, I know Langstaff has been linked. Apparently, there's bids been put in, but we'll have to see with that one. Obviously, that would be the dream. Obviously, someone in their prime that's got a very good goal scoring record in League Two. I know it hasn't worked out for him. Obviously, fair enough. You're not going to turn, if you're in League Two and Notts County, you're not going to turn down a move to the Championship with Millwall. But yeah, I think apparently there was an article, I don't know how true it is, but apparently he's on 7.5k, which is actually less than I thought he would be on. I don't know how true it is, obviously, but yeah, I think you're probably looking at around the similar money that we paid for Promise, if you include the add-ons, maybe even more. So yeah, I think it'll probably come quite late, and it might not even happen anyway. There's going to be, if a League One club comes in for him, he'll go League One. I can't see him coming to League Two. There'll be plenty of clubs offering him. Josh, what's your thoughts on that Jono situation? Obviously, me and you had a lot of combos throughout the last month or so, and yeah, what do you make of the whole situation and him joining up with his best buddy to go to Turkey?
Well, from what I heard is that Rovers did everything right and everything was proceeding very well. There was an agreement in place. Everyone was playing ball, and then he gets a last-minute offer to go and make absolute peas in Turkey.
Yeah,
you can't really say no to that. It's at that point. I think Aaron Collins' move to MK, I think, showed a lot about fans that still believe that some footballers are in it to go and win like trophies and to play at the highest level.
Yeah.
Some people are just in it to go and make peas.
Yeah, which is fair enough. You've got to, you?
Exactly that. I respect the decision. Listen, it's going to be an absolute pony league. Probably he's probably going to bag a few goals there, but he's locked in. It's probably, I don't know what it is, 2-year contract. He's with his best mate. They're probably going to earn some absolute wedge while they're over there, living in Turkey. Just it is what it is. Like I would have liked him to have come back, obviously. And even with the conversations I had with him himself, he was happy to come back, looking to come back. Mm-hmm. But I just think if that last minute swoop comes in,
you're not going to say no, are you?
If you sit down and really think about, right, so I can earn X amount at Rovers or 2 or 3, 4 times the amount over in Turkey, you're just not gonna come to Rovers. So fair play to him. I mean, it is what it is. It's done now. He's gone with his best bud. So it is what it is. As far as Langstaff goes, I think, yeah, we've tested the waters there. I can't see him coming. I can't see
him.
I can't see him coming, mate.
Yeah.
From the Championship, listen, I don't think we can class from the Championship. He's not a Championship striker, I suppose, in that sense. But high-end League One, I don't think he drops to us. But then again, there are a few of the signings we have made where I've actually gone, okay, fair enough. We must have put a good package out there. So, listen, I like the fact that we're trying, at least. Put it that way.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Yeah, keep getting in your comments as well. Like I said, if we will try and get into as many topics as possible. But yeah, get in your comments. Make sure you leave a like as well. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow us on the socials as well, Talking Gas, and our personal ones if you want to. And make sure you sub to Josh as well and follow him and me on TikTok. Obviously, I'm back on there now. But yeah, appreciate the support on all the platforms from all of us, really. Well, let's get into it. Signings. We'll start off though with the situation of the goalkeeping department. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk. You know, there was how long ago now? Maybe two weeks ago, we started seeing the links for Southwood. Obviously, there was numerous episodes last year on here where we talked about the goalie situation. Obviously, Jed, etc. Obviously, we signed Brad Young on a free. We've obviously signed Southwood now. I'm not sure. I still don't know the fee.
No.
But yeah, I mean, I would guess it around 200k. But that's just a guess. He still had a year or two left on his deal at Bolton. Obviously, he was only there for a season. Yeah, interesting to note. Of course, he's linked up again with Darryl Clark. Come back down closer to home. I think he's from Oxford as well. So, I mean, I mentioned it already. Literally, all the signings are local, apart from Brad Young. Even Ryan Howley, I think, is from the Nuneaton, which isn't really that far if you compare it. But yeah, I mean, I'll start with you, Neil, on this. Obviously, like I mentioned, we talked about a lot last season, the goalie situation. A lot of us thought that Jed would be starting in League Two for us. But yeah, Darryl and obviously the rest of the team, recruitment, head of football, etc., Ricky Martin have obviously all sat down and thought, you know, do we loan out Jed? Do we stick with him, or do we go and get a keeper that sort of had the loans that Jed has had already and had more experience on top of that? What's your thoughts on that signing and the whole sort of goalie department with Brad Young signing as well?
It's a delicate one, I think. It's a delicate one, really, because it's not just about who goes in, plays between the sticks next season. The Jed Ward thing is, Jed's never been looked at and briefed to be our goalkeeper for a decade. You know, he's looked at to be a cash cow for us. You develop him. He's sought after. He's on everybody's radar due to the fact he's got international honours at a certain age level, so people are aware of him. So really, what you'd be looking to do in an ideal world is nurture that, give him games for yourself, and then go and cash in. Because what did he sign the other year? 4 years?
Yeah, 4 year deal. Yeah.
So now, and I don't blame Clark for this one bit, because if I'm in Clark's position, I'm doing exactly the same. At the end of the day, I've signed a 2-year deal. I want to get in who I can trust, and I need results immediately. And I want to. Yeah. He's come in. He's taken one look at Jed over the games he's played, and when he's looked at him, gone, I know who I want, and it ain't him. Now that's fine, because that's his call, and he's the manager, and you can't just sit on your hands and go, I'm going to develop this kid. Put up with the errors for a little bit as you know, a 22-year-old making his way in the game, because as a manager you could be out on your backside if that costs you. So I get it, but it leaves you in an awkward position, because if you're Jed and you're having conversations with your agent, when he signed the deal for 4 years, I guarantee you the conversation wasn't, by the way, there's going to be a 27 that comes in on a 2-year deal, and you're going to go and tread water for 2 years at 22 years old.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's murmurs of, you know, chuck a transfer request in here, mate. Go in, you know, test the water. And if you're going to go in and go out on loan, go to a bigger club, and go out on loan where you're at a club who's going to pay you, a certain amount of money over a certain amount of years with better facilities and better coaches at a high level. Granted, you won't be playing for them and you'll go out on loan, but you can either sit at Bristol Rovers and do that, or do it, or go into someone else's, academy or pathways to try and be developed. Because, like I said before, goalkeepers don't even start to develop to being who they are until they're 30 plus. He's got an 8-year trajectory to try and build himself here. But I guarantee you, the conversations that were had when he signed that deal under sort of like the Taylor regime wouldn't have been, oh, by the way, we'll get relegated and then you're going to be treading water for 2 years somewhere else out on loan while we bring in another keeper from elsewhere.
Yeah.
Southwood will probably potentially do really well and walk away for free in 2 years. You know what I mean? But then Jed's sort of 24, 25 and he's gone, well, what have I done? It's a delicate one, really delicate one. And it's not delicate in the sense of who's a better goalkeeper, because it probably, for all intents and purposes, Southwood is right now. But the sole reason that we had Jed was to look and make money off of him. And how do you do that when you're farming him out, like, to people potentially even in the same league as you? It doesn't. It's a sticky one.
Yeah, because that's the thing as well. Like, even if he is going to be loaned out, which you would imagine so, like, because as a keeper, especially as a young keeper, you don't, because like obviously all me and Josh and obviously every other Rovers fan anyway on as looked at both things. You either loan him out and he plays, but it's probably, like you said, he's probably going to be in the same league. I don't think he gets loaned to the National League again. Personally, I think if you're going to loan him out, you loan him out to a League Two side. But then, like you said, if he's in the same league, but that's the thing, he needs, as a young keeper, you need games in it. This is what
I'm saying. He's going to want games, because he's going to want to build his profile, because he doesn't want to go and fade into the distance and not be, on people's radar, which he is at the minute, because he's an under-20 international. So, like I said, if a conversation is being had with his agent, potentially his agent, go on, just chuck a transfer request in here and say that you want out. You'll get takers, and you'll get takers for a big. You'll get a deal of 4 or 5 years, because you're a 22-year-old goalkeeper with international honours.
Yeah, 100%. Because that's what I mean. It's either, it would be different if he was a centre back or midfielder, maybe, because then I think it's a lot easier to try and get games. But as a goalie, realistically, if you're the number 2, you're not really going to play unless the other keeper, isn't that good or drops a few howlers.
And then where's your head at?
That's the thing.
Where's your head at is Jed, if you're going, oh, by the way, you're going back to the National League for a season, potentially 2, because we've brought in a 27-year-old on a 2-year deal and given him a number 1 shirt and told him that he's our boy. Mentally, what does that do to you as far as your career path?
Yeah. That's the thing as well. Even then, like you said, I know he's on a 2-year deal, but then he could do well. We could offer him and his contract could get extended. So that, it's tough, isn't it? Because like you said, especially, it always happens, I think, especially as a youth player, it's so like up and down, whether, like, if it was just another player, not our player, I think it would be a lot different. But because it's a youth player, fans always are like, what do? You want to play, obviously, your youth players, you want to see them play games, but then at the end of the day, like there's a comment here from Matt's, this sort of, and other people as well, saying, we're on about competition for places and we're on about promotion, so it's tough. Josh, obviously you've obviously give your thoughts on your content, YouTube, etc. But yeah, what do you make of the whole thing? Obviously, could end up, obviously there was a link the other day as well to Cambridge, so it's an interesting one, isn't it? Even then, like, learning about to a promotion rival, it's a bit of a weird one. What do you make of that situation? And of course, Southwood and Brad Young signing as well.
So Southwood signing is a superb option. A superb starting goalkeeper, especially at this level. So same as Neil said, I get it. Like, if the option arises, you're not going to not take it. If you're a serious club about wanting to get promotion, you make that Southwood deal. Simple as that.
And obviously the fact he's worked with him as well before. And
the fact he's worked with and so's Bits as well. So they all know him. As far as Brad Young, I'm not even going to bother commenting. Don't know the kid. I didn't even know the bloke existed.
Yeah, I was the same.
And apparently he's very highly rated. He's 23 years of age and he's played 5 times less the amount of games as Jed has.
Yeah,
he's coming in as a backup to Southwood. That's a fact. As regarding to Jed, I have absolutely no clue what to do with Jed. I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. What do you do with him? What do we do with him? Because he ain't staying to be a backup. He deserves more than that. He's not going to budge Southwood out the way at this moment in time, because you wouldn't have brought Southwood in on a permanent if he's not starting games. That's it.
Yeah.
So then you loan him out, which I think is probably the correct decision. But at the same time, where does he go? Because if he goes to the National League, say, because there's apparently Yeovil and Forest Green and them.
A lot of Yeovil fans want him.
Apparently they're all in for him or whatever. Yeah. He plays in the National League. The issue is if he goes to League 2 and maybe doesn't play or goes and it doesn't quite work out for him, then he's not getting game time in a league that we wouldn't be using him anyway. So it's, I don't know, man. It's a weird one, isn't it? It's so tough because, he hasn't played a full season anywhere yet.
Yeah, anywhere, yeah.
And he keeps being recalled. So obviously, we like him, but at the same time, Darryl wasn't the one that's recalled him. So I think that the conversation has been on the phone to Jed. Listen, you're a great young keeper. We like you a lot, but we need promotion at the first time of asking. And I need someone who's been in the sticks. And if you make an error elsewhere on loan, it's not going to cost you. You're not going to feel upset about it. People aren't going to hound you as much as if you're making mistakes here between the sticks and our promotion push.
Yeah,
it could turn toxic. So I think a loan. There's a lot of pressure for him as well to be the number one. I just remember the conversation that we had towards the end of last season, where Neil said, and I echo it: if he isn't our number one keeper next season, then what happens with Jed? What does that?
That's what I mean. We talked about it a lot. There was a lot.
So now it's what do we do with the bloke? Because if he goes on loan to Cambridge, and also as well, this is another thing. I think we might be the only 3 fans that actually rate Jed quite highly, because I see a lot of people on Twitter saying he's shit.
Thing is, I rate him.
He's error prone, but
on the other side of that, I said last season, even though we wouldn't score any goals, I still, and I mean, it's different because Griffiths is 2-3 years older. He's played a lot more games, but I still think,
and Griffiths was mustard.
He's different, but it's tough. I don't think there's potential for Jed to be quality. I think he's okay. Obviously, he's still young. Obviously, there's still things to work on, like there is with a lot of players, not just young players. Even it's a tough one because, like you said, you've got in his like Neil mentioned, is in his mind, is he thinking, do I try and get out of here on a permanent? But then because he obviously Bristol-born Rovers fan, it's tough for everyone, even him.
Well, he must be thinking, right? He must be thinking, I've signed a 4-year deal. We've dropped to League 2. You've recalled me twice, and you're telling me that I'm not going to be the starting goalkeeper in League 2 for my club.
Yeah.
I think, and I get it. Right? What have we all wanted from Darryl? We wanted Darryl to come in, shake things up, and get people in the building that can get us out of the league at the first time.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. That's a lot of pressure for him coming in. I can't think of any real scenario, to be honest, but it's he hasn't got any experience in that and a promotion pushing side, only in abysmal shite teams where you've had to recall him because other things haven't gone well. And then he goes to Forest Green. He's finally doing well.
Yeah, top of the league, playing every minute.
He's getting it, and then he gets recalled and we get relegated. So he's been bounced around everywhere, and I just feel Southwood's been there. He's done it. He's 27. He's established now, and he's an international goalkeeper. Yeah. And I get why it's done. It's just a bit annoying because it's Jed. You know, if it was another player that wasn't from our academy, like, I get it. There's a lot of love there for him, but at the same time, we've also got to remember 22 in goalkeeping years is like 17.
Very young.
It's like 17. Young. Like, so he's got time, but I wouldn't be surprised to see if he leaves the club on loan or permanently this summer. Genuinely.
But you see, but just like if that happens, that's gone completely against the business model of what the football club would want. Because if Jed leaves immediately on a permanent, you're getting buttons for him, and he's getting out, and
I agree.
Everyone's getting their way. But the model would have been build this kid's profile, get him games, get him in front of eyes, and sell him for big dough. Not because of the goalkeeper that he is, but for the potential he is. That's what people pay money for. You pay money for the potential. He'll go on loan.
I think he'll go on loan, but I'm thinking
you're not going to get that sort of dough if you're farming him off to say, look how well he's doing in the National League, you know?
But this is why I'm saying, what do you do with him? Because you're telling that no one, if anyone thinks that Southwood isn't taking the number 1 shirt and starting, then
this is what I'm saying. Daryl, if I'm Daryl, I'm doing exactly the same thing. I've signed a 2-year deal. I need to do my job properly and do my due diligence and get the best player that I can. So he's not going to look after Jed first. He's going to look after himself first, and I would as well. But if I'm Jed, I'm thinking, screw what they want for him as a business and as a football club. What do I want for me?
Well, that's what the agent's probably thinking as well. The agent's probably saying, well, hang on. We can get you out of this club to go and play somewhere else on a permanent whatever, bumper contract.
The nostalgia stuff of this is my boy town club, and it goes out the window when there's money on the table.
I mean, there's been links of bloody Anthony Gordon to Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? Like, it happens. If it's money, is money. Like, you go, you do your thing. But
we can go down the Matty Taylor road and talk about that if you want, but that could get messy.
That's what I mean.
It's all fun and games when it's not your club, isn't it?
I get it. I get it. That's what I mean.
Yeah, Jed's a tough one, and I really hope that he goes on and has a good season, regardless of where that is. I know that you want him to stay as a backup, don't you, and fight for number 1 shirt, Char? But I just don't think that's
no. Me, me. I was just interested to see what happens. Like, for me, I would learn it out, but I when I've done my videos, I've just said on sort of, just because I was looking at it from obviously this Southwood getting called up. Obviously Southwood gets called up to play, although he's a backup keeper. But then games would probably just get cancelled because obviously there's Conte, Tuturio, etc. Anyway. So
we're now actually over the threshold, so we might get stuff called off.
So a lot of people having their thoughts. Someone said Jed Ward may be good enough to go to League One on loan. Jed would be a great cup goalkeeper, but that's the thing. He's not, even for himself, he's not going to stay as a young keeper. Like, he's not going to stay as a cup goalie. He needs games. Whether that's loan. Shane saying Jed is a really good goalkeeper. People are just too judgmental. Jed Ward is a class keeper. His confidence ain't good. It's a tough one. There's loads of different comments. It'd be interesting to see what happens. But talked about Southwood, number 1, definitely. But it'd be interesting to see what happens for that. I mean, we'll quickly talk about on our latest signing. Obviously, the 7th signing the other day. Obviously, bit of a not random, but try list the other day. But even Dan Hargreaves said the deal was pretty much done even before we played the game. A player that's had quite a few injuries, which
all of our new signings.
As of all the players, pretty much. Obviously, he was looking at interviews and stuff, and what Cov fans have said, even the ones that have watched my video and probably watch your stuff, Josh, as well. Very highly rated player, but it's just the injuries that have hurt him a little bit. Even last couple of years he's been out on loan, whether it's been injuries or other stuff, he's not really played a lot. Only 35 games, but obviously I was at the game. the friendly. It's hard to judge. Like I've already mentioned, he done what he had to do. What's your thoughts, Neil, on the signing? Whether if maybe you know something about him or you might not know, but what do you make of the signing? Just looking at it, age, games played. Obviously, Darryl and Ricky Martin have said about potential. But yeah, what do you make of that signing?
Yeah, I don't know nothing about the kid, to be honest. I know zero about him, but obviously they've had a good idea of what they want to do before he's even walked in the building. They've just made sure that he's, he can get about the grass, and he's doing what they expect him to do, and then they've got a deal sorted. Kid probably knew what he was walking into before he walked through the door, that there's a contract there to be signed. It's probably a decent bit of volume. There's something they've picked up. They believe that they can develop him, maybe make give our midfield some legs potentially of what it is, because if Clark's come out and said that he wants a smaller squad, that's great, and there's no problem with that. You can have a smaller squad. There's loads of sides that do it, but the best ones are versatile, adaptable, but more than anything, they're robust. And what we've got at the minute is not robust. It falls apart. Like if you can reel off what we've signed at the minute, and there's issues with, there's issues with all of them over the course of 40 odd games.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to get in. I wasn't going to get into that point, but yeah,
what you've signed, that kiddie there, like what I'm trying to get at is probably a good bit of volume for the area of midfield that you're going to want in sort of League Two and in League One, where you need loads of volume in there because of the game turnaround and the sort of effort plays that you need to put in those leagues.
Yeah. Completely agree. Yeah, obviously you touched on it then. I was going to get into it in a bit. We might as well get into it now. Does that worry you? I mean, first of all, well, you mentioned it. Darryl said about a small squad. Does it worry you that we've already got a couple of players that have missed a lot of games through injury, etc., and have signed quite a few which can't play sort of 25, 30 games in a season? Does that worry you a lot? And what's your thoughts on? Obviously we'll get into the different players, but just the injury worries. Does that worry you quite a lot? And what Darryl said about a small squad?
The small squad doesn't worry me at all. Like there's been plenty of examples of squads that have been successful with small squads, because what it does is it gets you tight knit and it gets you rallying around, and it gets a bit of togetherness. And over the course of a 9-month season, you can really build some together as far as a culture, because there's not a load of scattered. It's not like the Chelsea effect, if you know what I mean. Although they're going all right at the minute, it's just not people for the sake of people drafted all over the place. You can sort of create and build a decent culture with if you've got good characters in a small squad. But like I've said, what we've got at the minute on paper, because I'm going off the back of what history will tell you from what we've drafted in, they're not robust. You've got Southern Hills is like, he reminds me of the what's it called, what was his name, Tariq Dennis. Remember we had Tariq Dennis. Yeah. Like if when he's on the grass, he's a gun, but you just can't get him out there enough. And what is the point of having a gun that's on a medical table? Don't do you no good. So it's very much a roll the dice, isn't it? You can bring him in and hope for the best, and hope that your medical team can patch these guys up, get them recovered, and get loads of minutes out of them. Alfie, again, what's he done? Like 3 ACLs, and he's 27. Do you know what I mean? He's susceptible. McCracken, it's a different kettle of fish, because it's not so much about his injuries. It's just that I can't see that lad being as effective. You can't play him in a 2. You can't push him up to and go against an opposition to go amongst the guts of that midfield. He has to play in pockets, so that means you've got to build a side around him to go and get legs and do his running, so he can go and be first receiver and play. Because he's going to be one of them that I see. I've got a lot of lads that watch Oxford, and he's one of them where he'll be a passenger without the ball, but when you can free him up and get him playing, he'll get you ticking. So what you can't do is, like, if you want to go and play, we'll go and match you up 2v2, or even if you're going to play against another 3, it'll get swallowed. because he's not robust enough in his legs to go and get about the pitch like that. What you want him to do is go and find a pocket and go and play, and let the others do, like I said, let the players play and the dogs be dogs.
Yeah. Completely agree. Yeah, I mean, my thoughts on when Daryl come out with it. I don't mind the small squad. It's just like you said, when you signed quite a few players and you've already have players in your squad from last year that to be fair, that Southern helps. What I heard from one Stockport fan that messaged me saying apparently their manager is it Challoner said that apparently he's had 2 freak injuries. That's how he pronounced it. But even then, I mean, we've already me and Josh have already said. But I haven't. To be fair, I've seen him play on highlights, but like what me and Josh both said when we've done our stuff, like from what Stockport fans are saying, obviously it's good, but like you said, it's how many games that if we can get 35 games out of him, then brilliant. But like you said, it's just you're sort of hoping.
Yeah, you're hoping. Like off the back, you know better than I do, but off the back of what his numbers say, is that a realistic target to get 35 games out of him? What's he tallied up?
No.
There you go.
I mean, the most he's played in a league season is 30.
Which ain't a bad effort, to be honest.
Yeah,
which ain't a bad effort. But if that's what you've peaked at, but your average is, you're knocking around 22s or 18s.
He is very similar to, if you can get Jack Hunt on the pitch and off the table, you've got a very good player there. Yeah. And that's the same with Macaulay. If you can get him on the pitch, and it's sad you mentioned Tariq Holmes-Dennis, because he's actually retired now, bless him.
Yeah, he had to retire, didn't he? Yeah,
he had to retire. But anyway, but if you can get him on the pitch, man. He was a player. He's absolutely unbelievable. And it's just one of those signings where you think, unfortunately, the reality of it is that signing would not have happened if he wasn't injury prone.
Yeah. It's the same a lot of signings.
I'm hoping that he's over it. I'm hoping that he's over it, because he is quality when he's on that pitch. And it's like the Jack Sparks. I know we'll come on to him in a minute, but his best quality is availability, and Macaulay Southam-Hells is like his best quality is quality, but his downside is the availability. So you've got 2 very contrasting wing backs,
which is probably why he's playing League Two. Because
that's exactly what I've just said. That's exactly what I've just said. We wouldn't make that signing if he was fit.
But that was the Joey model. Invest in your medical team. Sign players that should be playing higher, but they can't get out on the grass well enough. Invest in your medical team and try and get them out there.
Yeah. That's exactly what he done as well. Yeah. He's one of those, to be fair. But on the small squad thing, again, I don't mind. It's just like you said, whether you I think Daryl mentioned. I mean, it's only talk. I mean, I would hope he's not telling the truth, because I mean, we'll get into it, but I still think we need more than, obviously he said 4 or 5 the other day. We signed 2 since. So
there's more to go out the door, though, isn't there? Like it's not
this is it. Like this is it. I think we're forgetting that. Like he wants.
No one's left yet, have they?
No, I know, but he wants a small squad. But right now we have a minuscule squad, so he's still going to bring in a couple more players, and it will still be small. And plus, there's going to be a few going out.
Bulk out with loans, though.
Yeah, and then you've got the option, haven't you? Although I think I've heard somewhere that
I don't think he's
they don't want many loans, maybe 1 or 2 if that.
Yeah, but you can draft them in for 3 months.
Agreed. Agreed. So I think I think you're going to see a few loans go out. I think Dewsbury will go out. I think Jed Ward. That's 2 positions already.
2 that probably get sold.
Yeah, I can't think of who they are. The people who are going to get sold at the minute. I really can't put my finger on who I think is going to get sold.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm really not sure.
There's 2, and there's another one if you're stupid enough to go and get him.
What? So you're thinking Mola, Shaq Ford?
No, I don't think anyone comes in for Mola.
I just can't put my finger on who I think is going to get sold. Like they all look. The players that I thought may not be in favour this season. They've already been given like different numbers. I think that Hutch and Shaq have both been given the 8 and the 7 shirt. I do think that, unless it's a little bit of a ploy
it's only pre-season though, isn't it? So it can change.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Like, your new signings would take the available numbers, I think, if you're not considering playing them. I think, but that's just my opinion. But
the squad numbers don't just get issued by management. Players go and ask for them, and if they're available, they give them.
Yeah,
that's fair enough. But yeah, I'm hoping that Connor and Camille stay, because if they go,
they're massive.
They are.
I think that if you take your fan art off and be them, you go. Don't you?
Yeah. Obviously, it's different, 100%.
I think
100%.
I slightly disagree. I think if I'm them, I think there's a case for both of them to stay. I know this sounds odd, but Connor's just had a little baby boy. They're happy in Bristol. Do you want to up and move your family now? But then at the same time, it's probably the best time to up and move your family.
Yeah.
If you've just started a new family and you can go and earn a load more dough to support them.
Yeah, I know.
On a longer deal that gives you more security. Say you're Connor Taylor. Yeah, you stay at Bristol Rovers. You got a new family, and you do your ACL in the first 2 months, or you go and sign for another club on a 3-4 year deal with all that security on more money. What's better for you and your family?
No, I get it. I'm just thinking about the move itself. And then with Conte, I think Conte is way more likely to stay than Connor, in my opinion.
I agree.
He hasn't played a full season. He's been injured. I think the interest has died down a little bit for him. I think Connor, I think he's a concern. I think he's my major worry. I think Conte's more likely to stay.
It's because of the contract length. You've tied Conte down a little bit. But if you're if you want to do what most of us would do, and if an agent got in your ear and got his interest, you just go out there and kick cones all over the place and say, "I want gone."
Yeah.
I mean, I feel Connor's the one I'm keeping my eye on. I think that rumor isn't going away. Conte stuff seems to have died down. And I think Conte is more likely to stay than Connor.
If you've got, like, hypothetically, if say 525 grand comes in for Connor Taylor, who's got a year left on his deal, and he comes to you and says, I wouldn't mind speaking to these, what do you do?
Well, it's either that or he goes on a free, so you'd have to take it, wouldn't you?
That's what I mean, because ultimately you can say I don't like the fee, I don't like the money, even if it's 475 grand or whatever. The minute Connor knows of the interest and he comes and says, do you know what, kind of want to go and see what they've got to say, and you go, no, what have you got in your hands? You've got a player that doesn't want disgruntled.
I mean, I get that as well, but then is there an argument from this perspective of, right, just chill out for 1 year, let's keep you for 1 year, get us promoted, and then you can go on a free? With that, I see a lot of clubs do that, but at the same time, it's like you've got to cash in, because we're not very good at selling players, are we, lads? Let's be honest.
It's one of those though. Like, that's a beautiful situation for you to relay as a football club, but the player, I want what I want.
If he comes in and says, I want to go, and then you have to allow it to happen. You have to sanction the move. You just have to, because Darryl won't want a player that isn't wanting to be at the club.
Nobody wants a player that don't want to be there. That's the thing. So that means that's where the conversations behind the scenes go. We can drive this price down if you start going, I want gone.
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously interesting earlier, wasn't it? That I'm sure most of you that are on Twitter have seen it earlier. That Peter O'Rourke, he seems to be saying a lot of stuff. That he obviously put that tweet out that, what was it, 450 or 475,000 they put a bid in, but then the
Darragh Anthony or whatever his name
Darragh McAntony said, I mean, he was like, basically said, what is this Pete bloke on about? Like, but again, he could just be saying that. They could have put one in.
Well,
I don't know who.
Apparently he likes to play games. So
that's what I mean. I don't know.
We will see with that. The thing is, listen, lads, like the Connor Taylor Peterborough link is not going to go away.
No.
So let's just see what happens, and I just hope. There'll
be a stipulation in that deal that he doesn't have to live in Peterborough. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Literally.
Honestly, what that is. I mean, I've been to
Live in Oxford.
I mean, I said to you, Neil, I've been to Grimsby. Grimsby is up there for one of the worst.
Grim.
But Peterborough is 1,000 times worse. Honestly, if you haven't been there, don't go. I mean, even if we get them, I'll still go because I'm just me. But don't honestly, Peterborough. Wow, what an awful place to live.
We got rid of Peterborough.
Benji used to come on here. But like, oh my god,
we got rid of Peterborough and gained Gillingham.
Yeah, Gillingham's up there as well. Gillingham is honestly. I was up there. I can't remember what game it was now. I think it was where we lost 4-0 or 4-1. I think Bowden got the penalty and Adam Smith was in goal. And we got absolutely battered. Coming out of the away end, and this is no word of a lie, walking down this road, narrow road, and this woman just looks out the window with her arm out, and she had a needle in her arm. No word of a lie. And I was like, yeah, Gillingham's out there as well. So yeah. I mean, it's tough. I agree with you, Josh. If there was one player that I think would stay, it would be Conte. If I think there was one player that is to go, I think it'd be Taylor. Obviously, we don't want it, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. Yeah, I think they're. I mean, Neil, you would probably agree. I mean, looking at it right now, that they would be the two most important players. Obviously, looking at it on paper right now for next season, would you agree?
Yeah, I think again, you talk about injuries. You've got a question mark over Conte. You've got to hope that like whatever it was, illness or injury, or whatever, that's long gone, and he can just motor on now. But you're in a bit of a better position with Camille as long as he doesn't throw his toys out the pram to say that, you know what, he's under contract, he's got years left on him, we're in no rush. The Connor one's a bit different, but yeah, I agree. I think if you was to put a gun against most people's head and say you got to lose one of them, be Connor.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens, to be honest. But yeah, obviously, you touched on Sparks, Neil. He's obviously one that a lot of you will know from Twitter that he was close to signing for us last year, but ended up going to the worst place on earth, Peterborough. He found out. Yeah, obviously it didn't work out for him at Peterborough, but he's one that's played a lot of games. I think he played the most out of any. I think he played 40 games in all comps last year. Obviously, first half of the season, Peterborough. Second half of the season, Chesterfield. Yeah, he's a player that I've. Yeah, obviously he was one that was in my recruitment thing that Rovers looked at again. Someone local, player that's obviously had promotion out of the league. Player that plays a lot of games, attacking fullback. Him and Belongo to fight on that side. Although Belongo can even play up front, we all know that from his finishing. Josh, what do you make of that one, Jack Sparks?
I like it a lot. I think that how many times did we leave last season thinking if only we could create some sort of chances, we might have scored a few goals.
Yeah.
Like how many times did we leave saying another game we hadn't scored in? And what Sparks will do is put chances galore and crosses on a conveyor belt.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we need. He's reliable. He is, touch wood, not massively injury prone. Really, really, really decent going forward. Some will say he's a bit suspect going back, but
I think that's the same with most fullbacks nowadays.
Yeah. That's that new mold, isn't it? That's the new mold of fullbacks.
Yeah.
You know, do your bit at the other end of the pitch, and so I always remember that Unai Emery quote of "I'd rather win a game 5-4 than win it 1-0." So just a constant creation conveyor belt, and that's what we need from deep lying positions, from crosses, from and he's got a good left peg on him as well.
Yeah, very good. Yeah,
he's very very comfortable on that left peg. So I'm hoping that that's a signing that is a little bit transformative back there. And I hope as long as he can refine his kind of Pompey form, then we should have a very, very good player in League Two for us. 100%, he'll be up there in chances created on his stats by the end of the season, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's the thing. He can take set pieces as well. Yeah, I mean, Neil, obviously you mentioned Sparks, but what's your thoughts on the actual signing? Have you seen him played? What do you make of that? I know you mentioned him briefly, but what's your actual thoughts on the signing? Like I said, another player that has, fingers touched wood, we do get promoted. He should be quite comfortable playing in League One as well. What do you make of it? Quite a young player as well, although, was he 24?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it, but I've got a real problem and bugbear with fullbacks. It can't be fullbacks. Like, you look at our issues last season. It all came from wide areas. We could not defend in wide areas, and it's all very well saying, he's brilliant going forward. He makes the byline. Like, well, you know what, Josh Eyre did that, but you know what I mean. Like, it bothers me. Like, fullbacks. It can't be fullbacks. Piss me off. Do you know what I mean? Like, do your bread and butter of what you're meant to do. It's great to get your stats up at the other end, but like, stop crosses, get goal side, get behind the ball.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah, that's fair enough.
If I mean, we probably had this conversation last season when Senior came in. It's initially looks very good. Just first and foremost, at least for the first 6, 7, 8 games, just be a fullback.
Yeah,
just show me you can do what fullbacks are meant to do, and then whatever goes on the other side, all the better.
In my opinion, though, I understand that completely what you're saying. I actually do 100% agree. I want to clarify. He's not a liability. Like, he's not, like last season we had a few liabilities in that back line. He's not a liability going defensively. It's just not the strong part of his game. And I think that people are being slightly harsh. Like with the comments I've seen on my TikTok, which did somehow 48,000 views about Seifert. I have no idea what happened there. And we had all these Bolton fans in there saying he's shit. He's got T-Rex arms, and it's like, it's just, that's not, I don't know. I don't know what quite to make of that, because when I've seen Sparks play, it's not that bad defensively, like compared to what we have. So I'm hoping that that's just a little bit of like a Chinese whispers, because
I
can't have another liability at left back again.
Yeah. Thing is that with him though, although he's a left back, he doesn't really. If he plays in his position that he did at Exeter, which was as a wing back, more attacking. That's what I think. I think you've got. I still don't know. Obviously, you would think. Obviously, Daryl's going to have one formation. Obviously, he'll in-game, etc. He'll want different games. He'll want different formations. Fair enough, but I think his best position is that left wing back. That's where he can get the attacks going and get down the left-hand side and create chances, etc. And then, although sometimes obviously you're going to be tested, your main focus is attacking, creating chances and getting balls in the box. So it's going to be interesting if he does play left back or wing back and what formation we do go with for most games.
You haven't signed Jack Sparks to come in and be a defender, if that makes sense. You brought him in to be an attacking-minded defender. So I'm hoping that he does that so well, we can forgive a few lapses if that happens.
100%. I completely agree. Obviously Josh McEachran, obviously you mentioned it, Neil. Like you said, in that being that from that Oxford way or around that area. Obviously you look at I think even before looking at it as an actual player on the pitch and as a signing, I think it will be good for, even to just some of the players to think, wow, we signed, a player that's, been at Chelsea, been in the Champions League. Like you said, as a player, you mentioned it as well. He's more, he would probably be more a better suited as if we're going to play a midfield three, where, like you said, he's not just him and one other player running it. It's where you've got three midfielders to, like you said, do the running work. Because, a lot of Oxford fans I've seen commented as well said, he's not got the, he's obviously they're completely different anyway, him and Conte. On paper, I like the signing. Again, local, Oxford-born. Going to be interesting to see his family, who are all Oxford fans, come to the Mem. I like it a lot. I think he should do really well for the young midfielders we have. Quite a young midfield. Even added even more younger with Ryan Howley, of course. But yeah, overall, I know last 2 years he's not made many starts. I still find it's still going to be quite interesting to look because it's obvious I still think we need another midfielder. I think you would agree, but it's going to be interesting to see whether we go sort of all out and try and get another starting midfielder, or whether we go and get, because looking at obviously all the different qualities they all have. I haven't really seen much of Howley, but what I've seen from him and what commentary fans have said, he's obviously more of the physical presence that we don't have, more adding that height, which I think you need in the league. And obviously a young player, you've got Conte as the more sit in front of the back line to make tackles and interceptions, and McKetchin to do the passing. But I still think we need, obviously depending on formation, I still think we need a box to box midfielder. But yeah, very happy with the signing. Josh, what do you make of that signing? And do you also agree that we need another midfielder?
I think that a lot of people, I've said this a million times, a lot of people are saying, well, he doesn't have the legs and stuff anymore. Like he's not being brought in to be box to box and be legs. Like Neil described it, he's coming in to find a pocket, pick a pass, control the tempo of the game. And that's what he does very well. I do think that he is one of those ones that you're going to need to, maybe a midfield three, so that you have two other people around him that do the legs, do the dirty work. But that's not why he's been brought to the club.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good signing. I think that he's an experienced head. And I'm hoping that, again, I said this in my TikTok, but you need him for 30 games plus a season, so that you can really see the effects that he has on a side. And I think that he will be a really, really good addition if we can keep him fit, and if we can have the players around him to mop up when we need to mop up. Other than that, I think he's good. A good player. We love him. We know what he can do on that left peg. So yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah. Do you also agree that we need another midfielder? And if so, do you agree that it's a box to box? Because Definitely. Obviously everyone's had their thoughts. So I appreciate everyone that's left their thoughts on the question poll we did the other day on Instagram, obviously over on the YouTube video and on Twitter as well, the post I done the other day. But some people have said I don't think we need an attacking midfielder. I think we've got three, that we got Hutchinson and Kofi that are number 10s. Thomas can play there. I think that's probably, in recent years, that's probably his best position, where he's played his best football was at Barnsley in the 10. But I agree. I agree and think that we need another centre mid, box to box. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely do. I mean, you've lost. I'm not saying that Grant Ward and Lindsay are those people, but you've lost bodies in that midfield. You've lost obviously Sawyers. You've lost players that in that midfield role, and I think that although Ryan Howley is young and promising, no one knows anything about him, and he's injury prone himself. So you definitely, you're spot on. You definitely need another box to box midfielder. But it is one of those things. Well, if we are going to keep a small squad, and I remember Hargraves tweeted that we might do 4 to 5 players. You've already signed 2, so I feel like we need a box to box midfielder. You need a couple of strikers, a winger. So there's going to be one position that we don't. There's going to be a couple positions I think we don't do permanently.
Maybe.
So, we need a box to box for sure.
Yeah. Neil, do you agree with that we need another midfielder and box to box, or around that sort of area?
Well, I say every time, you can never get enough midfielders. Like the season will always pan out that you'll be looking for them, like injuries, suspensions, volume of games. No side's ever got enough. It's just how it is, really. Especially League 1, 2, National League sort of thing, with the volume that you get through. I don't know really if box. It all depends on how Clark wants to set us up. It might not be required. It all depends on what that pattern looks like.
It's tough.
We need to be far better off the ball though, like than what we were last year. We can run through a million elements what we need to be better at than last season. But we were putrid without the ball last year. We need to be far better without the football.
Agreed.
The one that I still go back to it. I still look at what we've built at the minute as a squad, and I know there's loads of time left. And ultimately, whatever you do at the end of August, you're only doing it to get to January, and you reevaluate and you go again. Yeah. But I still don't see who's leading this group. I still don't see who it is.
Yeah. There's not really. I mean, you could say Kilgore, but then
I don't like it. Like personally, like I just don't. I don't see. I see Alfie as a good character, is a decent teammate. He'll be a manager's dream because he'll do exactly what you ask of him, and he'll work to rule, and he'll drive the culture, and he'll do all the right things for you. But I just don't see him as being the forefront. I don't see him rallying and people getting around him. Like maybe like we were. I keep going. We were spoilt with Cooch. We'll never get him. Okay, we were spoilt, but. You need someone who's gonna. You can stand in that tunnel and everyone go, "We'll be sweet today because we got him," and we ain't got that in a minute.
That's true. That is very true. Yeah, it's spot on. I think you could say, I mean, I get. Yeah, that's what you need. You need a.
I don't see anyone in that. I don't see anyone in that squad at the minute in that group who's going to point fingers and get in people's faces and tell them exactly what's what. I think like Alfie will follow it, whatever's driven. I think he's the type of character that he will go alongside it, but I don't see him leading it. And I think that's what I look at this squad at the minute, and I just think, you know what, we got to go to Barnet on a Tuesday night in December. You know, we got to go to Barrow on a Sunday afternoon in January. We got some tough things to navigate, and there's going to come times when, you know, a group in the middle of a game or at half time, you've got to look at each other in a change room and go like, we're going to be okay. And I just don't see who's gonna, because the manager can only do so much. Trust me, like I said, management and a coaching team never run a dressing room. Senior pros do, and there's always going to be one that you look at is your alpha and go, he's calling the shots and he's putting us on his back and we're going to follow him. And we ain't got that yet.
Yeah. That's
not yet.
Yeah, there was definitely points of Connor Taylor last year, but even then, you need someone that's you need somewhere that's been there, like you said, Coots, isn't it? Literally Coots, someone like that in mid, especially in I think in a midfield area as well.
He's 1 in a million, mate. He's 1 in a million because he does everything on and off the pitch, 24/7. I don't think you don't get ones that are built like that anymore.
No,
but you need someone. You need someone that group can look at and go, right, we're following him.
Yeah, him, Lee Mansell, Craig, someone like that. Coots.
Yes, they just need someone to look to, and I just don't think they've got it just yet. And it's all right when the sun's shining and the pitches are nice and all that, but when you get to the nitty gritty and the nasty bits and people's characters get tested and you've got to do a bit of a gut check, like that League 2 season, they all look to one man and we got it done.
Yeah, spot on.
It's true. We all bloody love Paul Cooch on this podcast.
He was unreal, though.
Oh my God, I'm so glad. I'm so glad because, but in that season, when that was before I made content, right? And I loved Paul Cooch in that season, and I was hearing shouts all around me. Oh, he's shit. He doesn't offer much. He's got no legs. He's got the turning circle of a bus. Whatever. Why is he in the team? And I was always standing alone on myself in that section, thinking, how can you not see what he offers to this side? I don't get it.
Yeah, he was quality.
And I'm so glad that you two both share my opinion, because I was running the Coots steam train by myself up in that West Stand, genuinely.
Even the headbutt at Rochdale, class.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Oh,
I loved him. It was 1 in all in, wasn't it? You go for one of my lads, I'll put you on your ass.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, Scottish bastard, but he would run. He would absolutely run through you if you wronged one of his teammates.
That's what I mean. You literally need someone like that. If a player's getting stick, you need someone to go over there and be like, nah, you ain't picking on them. You're dealing with me. You
Yeah,
know?
it's not just that. If you look,
it's not just that. It's just standards.
He for 90 minutes he keeps everyone accountable. He keeps everyone accountable.
He set a culture. He set a culture for sure.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. Last season there was nothing, was there? There was nothing.
I mean, it was
no accountability.
Are you going to turn up to training, or are you going to not come to training, or I don't really.
That's what I mean. It's mad. It is crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, ultimately, I just don't think we've got anyone that's leading that group yet. Like, I'm sure it has to be identified because I just don't see it as yet.
Yeah. So I mean, and I mean, you know, whatever manager we've had, but even when, you know, whether it was under Joey with Coots, whether it was under Coughlin with Craig, whether it was under Daryl with Mansell or whoever, you know, even in older teams, Campbell, you know, it goes on. Yeah, it's true. We are missing that one, which is going to go, you know, let's have this today and just, everything standards. And like you said, there's only so much a manager can do. He's not playing the game. You need someone.
Yeah, when
you could hear him.
When it gets to being in the trenches, you don't look at the dugout. You look at who you got around you.
Yeah. Completely agree. I mean, going off that, I mean, just and I know it all depends on what formation, but for example, you can say, I mean, if we just pick two formations, we'll be here for ages. But just say, for example, Josh, you go 3-5. We're going to play a 3-5-2.
Yeah.
What other positions do you think we need currently? And let us know in the comments below.
Mate, where do I begin? You need a striker. You need a striker or two. I think he'd play little and large up top. So I think he'd play Ruel and Promise.
Yeah.
But I even think we could even do with another centre back because I'm so nervous about Connor. A centre mid, box to box. You probably need. Well, I don't know. He's probably going to use Belongo, and let's be honest.
Yeah, he'll definitely use him. He'll be to be there.
Yeah, but then what does that do to your wingers? What does that do to your Shaqs, your LTs? Like, where does Kofi play? Does he play? Like, there's so many questions.
It's a tough one.
It's an intriguing. It's going to be an intriguing season, that's for sure, because it was so obvious what Matt Taylor was going to do with our side when he came in, because he did it from day one of pre-season, and then it was looking good, and then he changed it all. So it's like,
and Joey did the same.
Joey did the same. Yeah, that's true. So it's so difficult. It's intriguing because you never know what you're going to get really at Rovers. So I hope that Darryl finds something that he likes and he sticks with it. But
yeah.
So
what's that? So that's like four.
Yeah, I'm still saying 3 or 4 signings. Four, hopefully, because I do think we're going to get some outgoings.
Yeah. We've not.
Do you get a third choice keeper? Like, would you get a third choice? Because Jed's going on loan, he probably will. So there's so many questions, and I'm intrigued to see how it plays out over the next month or two.
Yeah, I think with Jed, if you're going to loan him out, you just you'll have to put another clause in there.
Yeah, but that's
Or you just sign an emergency loan. I don't know. But yeah, you're saying 4, preferably.
4, at
least probably. 4. Yeah. It's a tough one. Obviously, this is just like you said. We talked about. We know, and any manager, let alone Darryl. Darryl will make early subs if it's not working. He'll change formation. He's not afraid to do that.
No, he's not afraid. No.
Like you said, if you're picking one formation, it is tough because, like you said, at the moment, there is plenty. He could go with his old formation. He went with his old formation in the first half against Chippenham, and then obviously he changed it. Neil, what would you say if, for example, if Darryl was to do the same main formation that he did at Barnsley, 3-4-1-2 or 3-5-2? What would you say on how many more you think we need personally?
I don't know, mate. I think I would. It all depends on what comes in. Like, you can get volume or you can get quality. It all depends on what you're bringing in and what for. But ultimately, where we sit today is, I personally feel like we're a million miles away from being a side that challenges. Like, there's so many question marks over, like, what we've recruited is okay, but again, they're not robust enough to do a season in League Two over 40 odd games for me. You've got you've got existing members of squad. Like we talk about Belongo. Is Belongo good enough to be part of a squad that's going to challenge at the top end of League Two? Because in my head, from what I've seen of him, he isn't. To be a part of a side, like you can bulk a side out with volume and all you want, but and he can come in and do it and do a job, a game here and there. But if you're going to play him week to week, is he going to be a, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, a top 7, top 3 player in that league? If you was to ask all the other fans in League Two, they'd be going, "Who are you talking about?" and got a clue what you're on about. So you know what I mean? Like you can hold him in high regard, but like I've said before, he's all smiles and no substance. You know what I mean? That you love him because of his character. That's great.
Yeah, yeah.
His job is to do what you do on the pitch.
Yeah.
You've got LT.
It's true.
You got Luke Thomas, who's a big season coming up. He's out of contract in the summer, and all he's done since he's been here is grow a tash. Do you know what I mean? You've got to turn up. You have to. Do you know what I mean? League Two, you've got to deliver, ain't you? Like, there's so many anomalies. Like, is Satirio going to run this season? Is he going to run this season? You know? There's loads. I just think this side at the minute, off of what we know, i.e. a side that got relegated with the players we've got and what we've brought in, we're still a million miles off. Promise is... Credit to Promise. I don't know the bloke, never spoke to him, don't know. But whatever his S&C program was over the summer, he's done brilliant at it because he looks lean. He looks lean. He's a big, like I said before, he's a big, strong, powerful, athletic man, and his hamstrings aren't just going to not stop going.
Yeah.
So there's question marks over a lot of it for me. At the minute, I think we're a million miles away from being a side that challenges to go up.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah. I mean, for me, if you was to say a 3-4-2 or 3-4-1-2, I would say 2 strikers. I would say another centre half, and I'd probably say at least one more centre midfielder, if not 2. I think the left wing back sorted. Belongo, Spark, Senior, and Southern Hills on the right of wing back. I'd probably say between 4 and 6. I think, and then, like you said, if you're going to play another, obviously, if you're going to play a formation with wingers, then we need 2 wingers, 2 strikers. Probably another centre half, another centre midfielder. So it's tough. But that's our thoughts on that. We'll quickly get on to fixtures and then we'll quickly round it up because, we've been on here for a while. Obviously, plenty to get into. Of course, after I will leave if you're just joining or you've got other stuff to do or whatever, I will leave the timestamps in the description so you can look at all the different ones. But keep liking the video, keep subscribing, follow the socials, follow Josh as well, Neil, me, and keep up quality support. Keep getting in your comments. I know, and apologies that I haven't been able to bring comments on the screen, but hopefully on the next one we'll go live on schedule and then I can do it. Fixtures quickly. Neil, your thoughts on the fixtures? Any games that stand out? Any games you're looking forward to? New grounds ticking off, opening day. Obviously, Harrogate at home, Belly returning. What do you make of it?
Tranmere. I like to look at Tranmere away. That's a personal one for me. Just like got powers up there. I can make an actual weekend of it. Same, missed out on Blackpool as a non-event when it last season because we was down, so we can replicate that with Fleetwood this season. Other than that, it's much. I look like our Tuesdays don't look too brilliant at the minute. Like you've only got a couple, but once cups start coming in and things like that, night. It'll get rejigged. Who we got on the final day? Notts County away.
Notts County away. Yeah. That could be massive. Although, right now at the time of as we speak, I've got I'm sure both of you have seen it on all of you watching that Patterson appointment. It's got to be one of the maddest, weirdest bits of managerial business I've seen. Like it's crazy. They're a weird one because you'd think they'd be up there. Like I watched them once last season when I went up with Nappers, Ben Gill and Jake and that, and I thought, and that way I know it's only for one game, but for a playoff game, I was thinking. I mean, they were. I know they had a decent season overall, although they obviously missed out. But I'm thinking that their players and it's just the manager. Like Norburn's obviously a good sign-in, but the manager, I'm just thinking. But that could and should be a massive game for us if we would say have to win it there. 3,000 or 4,000 gas heads, that would be incredible. Because I've never been there when Rovers have played. That was the first time I've been there, Notts County last year, and that was in the home end. So, yeah, Notts County away could be a naughty one come the end of the. Yeah, it's an interesting one. What about you, Josh? Even just looking at games, obviously Harrogate away.
Yeah.
A few games. Obviously Newport away should be a good one, local to you.
I'm doing it this season. I've already agreed it with the missus. I'm actually bringing the brother-in-law as well, which is going to be nice. Anyway, I love an opening game. I love an opening game at home as well. It's just beautiful, that is. I'm looking forward to all the local derbies. I'll be doing Cheltenham, Swindon. I'll be doing Newport as well. So that's 3 away games for me this season. For all of you that said don't do away games, there we go. But
other things are into perspective, innit?
Well, it's like I can't do every single weekend and just leave the missus with the boy every single weekend when she works weekends anyway.
Don't want to go to Barrow on a Sunday then.
Well, if you're going, Neil, I'll go, mate.
I'll put my hands up right now. I do not love this football club to go to Barrow on a Sunday.
That's fair. I mean, that is fair. So I'm just looking forward to the classics. I love a Swindon Rovers game.
Swindon away. Yeah.
I went Swindon away when Lofty when it was 1-1.
Was that the game what got called off?
I don't know, mate, but I was there at Swindon away in the promotion season when Lofty scored.
Promotion season. Sorry, my bad.
Promotion season, 1-1, and it was. Oh, mate, it's just a vibe in it. What did I do? I did Cheltenham away that season. No, I didn't. I did that next season, and I did Forest Green away and it was when we lost 2-0.
I'm
glad
they didn't come up.
I do love a local away derby, and I'm glad that there are a few now. So man, I'm excited. I'm just excited for the season to kick off, lads. I really am.
It's mad, isn't it? What is it now? Like just over 3 weeks away. It's mental, absolutely mad. I think is it just over 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it? Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, it was Finley who scored at Swindon, not Lofty, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was a weird one though, wasn't it? Because Collins was celebrating and. I don't know.
Yeah, it was Finley. Yeah, that it was Finley who scored. Yeah, we were in the yellow and green kit. I love that.
Yellow and green.
I love that kit. Yeah, I was there. It was great.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Yeah, Ed's saying we're not a million miles off. I mean, it depends. Like it's all about opinions. And Neil, if there was one guy we needed on this pod to. And it's good because all of us are different. All of us have got different opinions, and Neil's been there, done it. Brackley at home pissing down Brady Tuesday night. He's done that, so he knows his stuff. And it's all different. It's all different. So yeah, I know. I've seen on Twitter, and I know it's only banter, but yeah. Some people don't look at Neil and straight away and think, "Oh my god!" But honestly, Neil, he's a goat, man.
To put Neil into perspective,
he's Paul Coots of our.
Yeah, he's Paul Coots. We were just about to go live, and Chrissy Collier, he's probably watching now. He can't type, unfortunately, but he's probably watching. He messaged us with a little voice note saying, "Hi guys, I'll be tuning in. I can't wait to hear what Neil has to say about things." And I replied saying, "What about me and Charlie, mate?"
Yeah. That's what I mean.
He said, "Oh, I hear your voice all the time. I'm just excited to see what Neil has to say."
Yeah.
He said, because he's always spot on.
Yeah. It's class. So like me and even when I've been with Neil and when I've been with Josh at games, people come up to us and they're like, "Neil,
they love Neil.
You're the goat, mate." So yeah,
you are. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. We put so much effort into our stuff, and people love you.
I just go off of what I've seen and done, and I just go off of my own experiences. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100. I mean, it's mad.
Yeah.
I think obviously just before I get into what obviously the games, I think it's now the fourth or fifth season now. Neil's been on the pod, which is time's just gone quick. And even Josh, what is it? Second full season in it for you, Josh? Because I think this is second full one. So it's mad. Yeah, even 3 years. 3 years now. This is the Talking Gas. It's mental. 3 years. This is a third season going. So yeah, just
crazy.
Keep it up. Honestly, everyone, just unreal. Just keep up the quality support, lads, lasses. Everyone's class. All the comments are appreciated. Like I said, I think it's good. Yeah, we all bring something different, which is class and obviously what you need. But yeah, thoughts on the games. I like the fact that all of the close games are all on at 3 p.m. or before. Although I don't like early kickoffs personally. I know Newport has been changed to an early kickoff, but I'm glad that all the away games are on and they're all on a Saturday, which I really like. The away games, yeah, like Neil said, most of you that know me, and Neil especially, we love Tuesday night away. Tuesday night away days are the one. What is it at the moment? Oldham, MK is a bit crap. It's on a Tuesday night again. But yeah,
it'd be crap if it was on a Saturday though, wouldn't it? At MK, it's just
that's true. Yeah, that's true. But that Barrow, do you know what? I completely forgot that game was on a Sunday until Neil put that tweet out earlier on. I was like, nah, Barrow on a flipping Sunday. You taking the mick? That's mental. I still go because I didn't go to Barrow in the promotion season. Yeah, there's a few I need to. Yeah, Barnet away. Somehow for all the years I've been following, I've never been Barnet, not even in the Underhill one. So, but
there'll be more to come along because of cups and all the rest.
Yeah, 100%.
Our obligatory game against Cardiff or Crawley.
Yeah. Obviously, we've already got them in the league. We'll probably get them in the cup as well, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, if we beat Cambridge, we'll probably get them in the second round of the Carabao Cup. Honestly, the amount of times we get is Chesterfield at 12:30 is annoying. I think I'm going up on the night before actually. I'm staying in Lincoln, meeting Jake again.
Tommy.
Yes. But yeah, all the rest of them, it is what it is. A lot of them I've already done. There's a few I need to tick off. Notts County away could be one of the greatest away days in a long time. Love it that we've got we've got a home game first as well. Hopefully we can make it back-to-back opening day wins for the first time in about 25 years. So obviously before last year's win at Northampton, what was it? Our opening day record was not
13.
1. Yeah, 13, which is crazy. But yeah, it'd be nice to stick a few past Belly on his return. Even I love Belly, but we need that opening day win. I'd just like to see a nice win. But yeah, I think we'll end it here. We've been chatting for nearly an hour and a half. Appreciate everyone that's tuned in. You guys got anything you need to say? Last comments, last plugs?
Just
saying, Josh.
Yeah, just one last push. If you could just take the spare 2 minutes and consider nominating me for the Football Content Awards. I'd be really, really grateful because that stuff doesn't happen to me. So I would really be grateful. So thank you very much. And nice to chat to you lads again. It feels like it's been ages. I know it hasn't been that long, but it feels like it's been mad.
Well, obviously, the last live we did was the end of season review and talking about DC. So it's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, it's good. It's good to. Neil, what about you? Any last few words before we wrap up?
No, just vote for Josh. He's a good human. Why not?
Oh, that's lovely, Neil.
I don't know enough about it, mate. But whatever you're doing, it sounds very, very exciting.
Oh yeah, I'll give you a little message on WhatsApp.
I don't know anything about it, but I'll vote for you.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate you.
Football Content Awards. So please do go and vote for Josh. That would be class. Like I said, hopefully, I'm not sure when we'll be back. It all depends on the amount of news we get. Because if we sign one player, etc. And then next week's quiet. Then we might not be back on the Thursday. It all depends, because obviously we've left it quite a while to do our first one. But yeah, hope you all have enjoyed. Really do appreciate it, wherever you are, whatever time you're watching this back or watching it live. Yeah, just keep up the quality work. Subscribe if you're new. Follow us on the Talking Gas socials on Insta and Twitter. Follow us on our personal ones if you want to. Yeah, my YouTube, Josh's YouTube, both our TikToks. Vote for Josh. And yeah, just appreciate the support and kind words. And thanks for tuning in again. It's been a while, but it's been good to be back with the boys. The tripod, as we say. So, yeah. So yeah.
We can't say that.
Mate, why not, in it? I mean, there was tripod gas in it. Hashtag tripod gas. But there we go. Yeah, thanks for watching. Yeah, like, subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you in the next one. Up the gas.
Up the gas.